home. Each song that we sing and each story we tell, each hero we name and each life that we sell, each breath and each beat of your heart is a beat of the drum. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. Before 10 in the morning we're barely alive. We're like ghosts, we're like spirits, and then coffee arrives. Then heroes awaken and stand by your side. Now gather your courage and sing out your pride. For the storm will not break us, although it may try. The sun may beat down and may bake the world dry, but we stand by our neighbors and raise them up tall. Gather your voices and scream out the call. For you are my empire and you are my hall. For you I would fight and for you I would fall. For you are the beat of my heart and the heart of my song. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. So fill up your tankards and fill up your lungs. Leave no words unspoken and no song unsung. Make noise for your heroes, your kith and your kin. Sing out their names and the pride that they bring. Together we stand and divided we fall, and the future we write will be shaped by us all. For we are the singers and we are the song of a story that's greater than more. Sing along. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere, I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere, I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. There's nowhere that I'd rather be. My neighbors, good citizens all, I thank you for coming and heeding the call. Let's rally the people and bring them all near. Sing out our songs for the whole world to hear. This is the cradle of all that we are. This is the heart of the storm. This is the ground where the future was born. This here is Anvil and this is our home. Each song that we sing and each story we tell, each hero we name and each life that we sell, each breath and each beat of your heart is a beat of the drum. Give me drink in my cup and friends who will share it, song on my lips and ears that'll hear it, fire in my eyes to light all the good people I see. I tell you, my friends, there's nowhere that I'd rather be. Before 10 in the morning we're barely alive. We're like ghosts, we're like spirits, and then coffee arrives. then heroes awaken and stand by your side. Now gather your courage and sing out your pride, for the storm will not break us, although it may try. The sun may beat down and may bake the world dry, but we stand by our neighbours and raise them up tall. Gather your voice.
Okay, that might work. That should work. Yeah, it's picking me up. I don't know if it's picking you up yet. We won't know. But we're live.
Two. Hello.
Oh, there we are. Yeah, it is. That's good.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was not looking animated then.
No, that's all good. Chat's been going off.
Yeah, it's hearing me. Yeah, I'm listening through on the stream. So
yeah, excellent. Plants. Hello. So thank you for subbing, Beth. We hit a record high on the channel of subscribers as well.
Right.
Last month, yeah, 110.
Blimey, that's a lot.
For me, it is. It's massive. It was insane.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Choco Moco Latte. Hello. Does anyone know if there's a playlist of the starting song somewhere? I can chuck that into chat. Commander Jen subbed as well. Thank you. Yeah, it's all on SoundCloud. Bolum, hello. Pete, hope you're doing all right. As Ben, thanks for subbing. Couple of 100 bits. Thank you. And we're getting through. And Nexus, wonderful stuff. Excellent. Right, that's that all up to date. I'll try to keep up with chat, but I'm a bit shit, so I will fail. And also thank you to Panda on the Discord for doing the wonderful art stylies that we've got there.
Right, I need to go the other way.
No. Yours is right up in the corner. It's.
I know. I'm trying to match it.
Yeah. I mean, your tash is looking absolutely fabulous. It's looking
Thank
wonderful.
You. That's very kind of you.
I'm tempted to go to just a tash after the wedding.
Tash levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be pretty important that you want your favourite kind of facial hair when that goes, because of all the photos and stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Tough one to get right, getting good puff. Because like, there's some days when you look at it and you're like, oh, it looks awesome, and then other days you're like, I look like a bum.
I tend to live in the second bracket. I mean, with the massive beard, I go for the hobo look almost constantly. But on Wednesday, I'm going to a Turkish barber.
Oh yeah.
That we got, and they're doing the hot shave and all of that, but they're doing my head. So they got the razor, so they're going to do it all super clean shaven. They're tidying all this up for me as well. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. So I'm looking forward to being smooth.
Yeah, right.
For once.
So smooth. We'll test it. We'll drag it down the Skittle Alley.
That'll be a laugh.
Do you have Skittle Alleys where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they're quite a southern thing apparently. Like there's they're not all over the country as you'd imagine.
Anyway. Yeah, cheers, Dolly. I hope you're doing good, bud. I'm doing fine. Just tired as always. Having the beard is essential for being a dwarf. I know. When I got fitted for the suit, I literally have the body proportions of a dwarf. So my trunk is normal sized, but like my legs are extra short and my arms are extra short. I'm just a weird body.
I've got the opposite, I think, of that, where my arms are too long and so shirts don't fit me properly. It's always like an inch or two longer. So like, you know how you get like a little bit of shirt out of the cuff of a suit? I don't get that because my shirts are always too small. Anyway, again, not a particularly interesting bit of trivia.
No, we're
not LARP related. Not LARP related. Hold on, I'm just gonna put these changes
in. We're barely LARP related anyway. And yes, Bolum, I will even have a shower. We'll do well there. So this I was going to do an idea for this stream that was going to be sponsored by the Crimson Reapers, because obviously they've got their player event coming up in January, and because we had a chat with Will and he had offered us both a couple of free tickets to give away and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Will to send me some photos of the Crimson Reapers so I could make a sponsored by the Crimson Reapers. I'm still waiting for those.
Oh.
So,
Well, have you got a ticket to give away?
I have a ticket to give away. I've got the
Okay.
ticket to give away, so that's fine. But and I believe you've got one as well. But you can do that however you
Do I?
want to. Well, that's what you
I
said,
didn't
didn't
know
it?
I did. Okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. I didn't know if I had one or
We'll
not.
run with it.
But
At the moment, with the amount of Hat Film stuff we're seeing on stream at the moment, we are sponsored by Hat Streams. So thank you for that. Because you've got the really cool T-shirt on.
oh, this one, yeah, the newer one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really.
yeah, it really is a lot of. I just realized, yeah, both t-shirts. I didn't know you could see that. To be honest with you, it's just yeah, I thought I'd rep the brand. I was wearing a jumper today, and this was underneath. So there you
Yeah,
go.
it's yeah. So I've got that T-shirt as well, and I really like that one. But
Mhm.
let the record show that Bolan did give them to Will.
Very
Excellent.
good.
Tom Cut. Do you mean Tom Hardy, Panda? Apparently,
No, there's an Australian guy, like a ginger comedian. Like he's yeah, that's who they're referring to.
excellent.
I think it's like I think he's like a YouTuber. I think he's Australian.
Oh right,
Um,
okay. I
but
have no
I guess
idea.
it could look worse. He's got
Yeah,
even much curlier hair than I have.
but yours isn't really that curly. Yours is just retreating.
It's not. It's retreated. This is as far as it's going to
Is it,
go.
yeah, is that it?
Well,
Because
until about 60, and then this front bit will die out. It's
that's
my dad's hairstyle. It's just the fucking most widowy of peaks.
see, I had no luck because my dad was bald by 21 and my mum was completely grey by 19.
Hmm.
So
And you've got dwarf genes with the arms and the legs and the body.
yeah, basically. So I'm all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah, yeah,
So
unlucky.
yeah. Hello, Debbie, Harry. Welcome. How you doing? So another sub. That's cool. So yeah. So we're gonna talk about LARP. It's been a long time since I've done a LARP stream because obviously being quite ill and getting pneumonia after Bristol and stuff. So I was fucked. And then so I haven't done a proper LARP stream in a while. So
Hmm.
how are you? Are you faring about getting back to Empire in April? Are you, or is it something you're not really thinking about at the moment?
I try not to because it just stresses me out. I think because then I'll just start thinking of all of the things I should be getting or doing
Mm.
in between. Like I'm trying to attend some player events like the Reaper's Ball that we were just discussing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm doing the Printers Guild one in Birmingham. Is it?
Oh, okay. Yep.
I think it's that one. It might no, it's Little Mothers I'm doing, not Printers Guild. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're around. I will just, I'll try not to stress about it. Try not to think about it. I've got loads of stuff going on at work and stuff at the moment, so really, it's not too much on my mind.
Mm.
Time goes so fast for me now.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, I would like to be doing, but then equally, I walked home from work earlier and it's fucking wet and cold outside. You know, I mean, like I've always been one of these people that's like, we should LARP through the winter. Like, it's no problem. Like, just bring a thicker sleeping bag. Basically.
Mm.
But it is pretty miserable outside. So I wouldn't want to be a brass coaster.
No, no. This is true. Uh,
uh,
yeah. People are saying bad luck if you wanted to go to the Printers Guild because that was yesterday.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, it wasn't not that one I was referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to ask Gallon about Little Mother's Ball if the offer's still going.
Yeah, I think he has a ticket for sale or spare because he did the classic thing of ordering two because he thought like either me or you or someone want to go, and
Mm.
I was like I almost ordered two for the very same reason. I'm like, no, I'm sure one like Gallon will do it or something,
Mm.
and luckily I just ordered one, and he's like, want to come to this thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going, mate. He's like, oh. Oh. So only give him half the money for it is what I'm saying. He's desperate.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be quite fun to go to that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not too far away either. I mean, I hope to do some more ILARP events. Talking
Mm.
about LARP general, I'd really like to do some more ILARP events because I did one of those recently, flying led cowboy one,
Yeah.
and it was a very interesting experience. And I think they did a really good job of like running things. Basically, I thought it was really cool. I like the
Yeah.
venue. Eversley as well is really cool. There's loads of stuff there. Um, just it's another one of those places that's a bit like, even in your downtime when you walk back to your tent in the evening, you can just stand and just look around for a bit. Like, even an OC, I took like my smaller tent and a tarp which was glorious after fucking having to take a van to Empire every time. Just literally getting my car, a backpack and a tent and just putting it in, and the kit requirement was super low as well compared to LARP, compared to Empire.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1.5 hours down to Eversley for me from Bristol, and was in the forest, and it was also like the weekend of November 5th, so we had the fireworks going off as well above us, and it was just
That's
really cool,
cool.
very very magical.
Yeah,
So
I want to do ILARP because
yeah,
Digby's trying to get me to come along to Flying Lead,
hmm
because he does the old it's the cavalry sergeant, isn't he? The Civil
yeah, yeah,
War and that.
yeah,
And my character concept for it was, you've played Red Dead 2, haven't you?
yeah. One of the best games ever made. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm playing it through for a second time at the moment, and
yeah,
it's so well. As I was playing it, then I got Ragnarok, and yeah,
interesting.
I'm like 18 hours into that right now.
Yeah, is
It
it good?
it's great. It's a really
Yeah,
good game. Yeah.
you've almost finished it apparently. I think it's 20 hours, isn't it?
I've done a lot of side quests.
How does it differ from the one previous, like the previous like next gen one?
Similar. It's a
Is it
similar,
similar?
but the
Like it's
story is much bigger, and
yeah,
boy is still an annoying little shit.
boy. I saw that thing
Boy,
you tweeted with the guy doing the Matt what's it
Matt
called? Matt
Berry.
Berry
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, that was really funny.
that was really
I could
good.
I almost looked dubbed. That guy's so good at doing that voice.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. But
Yeah.
yeah, Debbie, I literally I see a side quest. The good thing is that they put into that game is that the NPCs who are with you,
Mm.
so it's not really a spoiler or anything, but one of the NPCs is walking around and you go off to do something else. You see a chest or something like that, and he goes, what's he doing? It's like, he's seen loot. He does this, and
Right.
they comment on you wandering off trail and stuff like that.
Right.
It's really
It's like
good.
occasional fourth wall breaking.
Mm,
Yeah. Interesting.
it's fantastic. It's well worth getting, I think.
Mm.
So I mean, I got it. 60 quid though was just.
Yeah. Do you need to play the first one to understand this one? Does it help?
Um,
Because
it
I played
help.
a bit of the first one. I
Not
lost my
there.
save.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that classic of like I got about a third of the way through, lost my save. I was just like, fuck, man.
Yeah,
Like,
they do a recap on the, so
yeah.
you've got the new game, and then it just says a recap of what happened, and then it tells you everything that happened, so you can just go straight into it. So, but you need, yeah, I suppose a little bit of knowledge of the first one does help, but I wouldn't say
hmm
it's game breaking. That's so.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, well worth it. But anyway, back to LARP. In Red Dead 2,
hmm
there was a character in that. So you first meet him by the train station in Valentine, and it's the Civil War veteran he's just there with a bindle, no sock,
Yeah.
no shoes, no socks,
Yeah.
asking for $1 or asking for
Yeah.
like 5 cents or something constantly. Yeah, that was my character idea. So
What happens when you want to go into the bar? Do you just like sit there and put your hat down in the bar, and if somebody comes up and talks to you, just ask them for $1 again?
yeah, literally, I'll be asking for money constantly. I'm going to sit there with a tin mug, just ask for money
There's some
constant.
good class archetypes that would go with that as well. Like there's like this, I think it's charlatan. There's also like there's basically ones that can essentially command people to do stuff. It's like I inspire you to place $1 in this cup, and then they have to, as far as I'm aware, at least role play a response to it.
That'll be
It's like
fun.
3 times a day you can do that, but then obviously they might go, oh, this goddamn this guy swindled me, and then you might get arrested. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it's certainly a fun archetype. Some guy, the one we were just at, was like a drunk prisoner, and he was just like falling around and wandering around the whole night. And occasionally he could break. He had these like LARP shackles on, and occasionally there's like a bit in the break that would break, and he'd just like go tink, and then just run off, and then stab someone. It's just bonkers. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I love
So
it.
that sort of things fit, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. It's that was my concept. But ILARP have got they do incredible job. I mean, Johnny and Kitty are incredible at what they do.
Yeah, very impressive. It's they're living it.
They really
They
are.
are living it. They're living
Well,
and breathing it.
they are
I think,
literally living it because they pretty much
yeah,
live on site most of the year.
yeah,
So they do a great little job there. Well, not even little. It's a huge undertaking for
yeah.
what they
It's
do.
crazy what's happened. Like the amount of work that's gone into a lot of the bases and stuff is very cool.
Yeah, it's really really good. So
Hmm.
yeah, I need to get involved in that. I keep on saying to them that I need to get them on to talk to them about it all. So then it's like it can outlay all of their games because they did the Buccaneers one as well. They did the pirate. They've done a pirate one. They also did the Hobbit
Yeah,
LARP as well.
second
Second
breakfast or
breakfast.
whatever it's called. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one's- Is that just mainly an eating LARP? Is that like
It's hijinks.
right? Okay.
It's think what Merry and Pippin were like in the Fellowship of the
Yeah,
Ring. Yeah,
yeah. You've got
it
to go and steal Farmer Maggot's carrots.
basically. Yeah, it's a lot of
Oh, I don't think that I still don't think I'm at the point where I need to be able to attack something, you know, and I'm not just talking about a bread roll.
well, yeah, there is
That was
that.
what was pretty fun in Flying Lad as well, as it's just like creeping up on people with a gun that makes a really loud noise is surprisingly satisfying. I was really skeptical as to like also with Nightmare we took melee weapons like we use in LARP, and they were fucking vital. Like
Mm.
you know I was using that all the time, but I don't know whether that happens as much in the mainline. But yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Did you have any like thing in particular you wanted to cover before again I just segue off into?
no, segues are great. It's pretty much all I do on this channel. So, um, we've had a couple of questions come through. So Ben said, "You mean Empire isn't an eating LARP?" I may have been playing wrong. Uh, but Helen's asked, "What other styles of LARP would you want to try?"
I don't really know many of them to be honest with you. I think that's part of it. Is like I haven't
Mm.
tried it. The Flying Lead Nightmare was the first thing I did outside of Empire, and I really liked
Mm.
it for different reasons. I think there are some things I wouldn't, some LARPs I just don't like the sound of. I don't know whether that's just me just being prejudiced, but like I would be interested to try a sci-fi one. I think they're harder to do well.
Mm.
Um, I did a mega game once. Watch the Skies. It's a very widely played one. There's a bunch of good YouTube videos about what it is, but
Mm.
it's like we all met up in a village hall basically, and there were you each play a nation, and aliens have come to Earth, and you have to. It's a bit like XCOM, in that you need to find solutions to problems, and then like you vote on it. And within each country, there are four players, and they play like the president, the general, the scientist, and the foreign minister. And
Mm.
like the foreign minister can only talk to other foreign ministers, and that's how you talk to other nations. Um,
Ah.
the general can move military assets around on a board. The scientist can like research new things about the aliens. Really good. And I think something like that would probably be really fun in a more extrapolated or expanded.
Yeah,
Uh,
that sounds really familiar, actually.
yeah, Watch the Skies. It's one of the OG like mega games when mega games started becoming big in the sort of 90s and early 2000s when they started up. I mean, really, rather than
Mm.
getting big. Um,
Yeah.
I think more people have probably I came to LARP through there really. I was like, oh, this is actually interesting. Like interacting with people and playing a
Mm.
make believe game with adults can be really fun. And then obviously board games boomed, and I think that was part of that as well.
Yeah. How about Vampire the Masquerade?
Maybe,
More
maybe.
social, political.
Yeah, I think there are elements about that that make me hesitate. Um, but you've explained it to me quite a few times before, and by the sounds, I think it's really cool. I like
Mm.
the world. A lot of the rules and classes are quite interesting. Um,
Yeah.
the thing about Empire and the thing about Flying Lead, is that neither of them require, like, the way that magic is done, for example, in Empire, it's fairly easy to deal with. Like, you don't have somebody throwing a beanbag at you, or like, it's kind of low. I'd call it low tech almost. Like, and that works for me. I think that I'm a bit of a, when it comes to magic and stuff, I'm a bit of a Lord of the Rings guy in terms of, like, I like my subtle magic, rather than anything too in your face. And I
Yeah.
wonder, like, how, like, in Vampire, for example, if you're not playing are you talking about a role playing game, or are you talking about like a vampire LARP?
A LARP.
How would, like, like, some of the interactions work in terms of, like, blood
So
and sex,
yeah,
basically?
the basic. Well, there are LARPs out there that deal with that aspect of it. I personally, because I've just taken over the local one,
Yeah.
so I'm running the Southampton vampire game now. So
Yeah.
basically, we just if you want to bang someone, then you just say you're going to go off and you do it, and you leave the
Right.
room. It's simple things like that. The blood, you don't fizz wreck the blood. You don't do any stuff like that because it's in a public location. So seeing people walking
Yeah.
around covered in blood, I don't want to deal with the police.
Yeah.
But there are LARPs, especially in America, where they deal with what's called the Sabbat. So essentially, it's the Tory government of the vampire world.
Yeah.
All a bunch of cunts, and there's a lot of focus on that aspects of it as well. So it's a bit of an odd one, but it's down to personal comfort. But the disciplines and doing stuff like that, it's really simple. It's just rock paper scissors, and then it's the reaction. So if I'm going to punch you,
Okay.
rock paper scissors, I've won. Right, I hit you. You react and go off and do that. You know how much damage you've taken. Blah blah blah. It's
Okay.
really fast, and it's more about the social, political standings and stuff like that. So that's how
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
done. So,
Okay.
but there's loads of different ones out there. Because one that I really want to try next year is Northern Kingdoms.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying this is really good. And it's
Mm,
Witcher based, right?
yeah, yeah, I really want to give that one a go. So,
Yeah. When I
um,
was at Eversley the other day, that everyone was saying that they were like, "Oh yeah, no, I think this is really fun."
yeah.
Like that, I'd say that's a pretty good shout.
So I mean, at the wedding on Thursday,
Yeah.
you'll be with one of the. You'll be. I think you're on the same table as one of the people who run it. So
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, good to chat to them.
yeah. So I think it would two of the people who run it actually. So
Cool.
yeah, we can have a chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really want to try that, and that one's always been high up on my list and stuff like that. So this is the question I wanted to ask because this might be something. This is a good thing for new players as well. Because one of the common questions is how do you come up with your character and stuff like that. I'm curious as to how you came up with your characters. So, Bron, for example,
Yeah.
because I know
Um.
the story behind Bron and how he came about, but he's obviously now grown quite a lot.
Yeah, I think that it's a bit like, what, again, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep referring to this flying lead thing, because for that, because of being at Empire, I felt I could create a much more interesting character than I think I've made at Empire so far.
Oh, I thought you were
Um,
NPCing at Flying Lead.
I was, and then I managed to get a player ticket like the 4 days before.
Right. Okay.
So
Perfect.
for him, like, I took that big fur mantle thing I've got
Yeah.
for Empire, and I took that and I put it over my cowboy costume, and, like, basically this guy was like a trapper, and this fur was like, not only great for the weather, which was fucking cold and wet, um, it was like the inn to be like, "Oh, do you like my beaver?" And it was like about this, like, the biggest beaver I've ever trapped, and so, like, I can make constant beaver puns like all weekend as well. But then, like, I was like, this guy was so big, I had to choke him out. I hit him with a bow, and I took my bow as well, so I was like, I prefer the bow, better way to kill a man, and all this sort of stuff.
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, he was so big, I put an arrow in him, but I had to choke him out, like the fucking dog from that film with Will Smith in, like, and
Uh.
anyway, that was that was a lot easier. I think
Yeah.
Bron. was a character I made after losing my first character, where I was very much like in shock and mourning for like, which I did not anticipate happening. My like Ulf got killed in a skirmish, and I just made
Yeah.
like a whole branding for him for his little trading company, and I was just like, fuck, man. And I was like real sad about that. And for about 2 hours, I was just like sat in God, just wondering what to do. And I was like, fuck, I could go back and just like, you know, an R&R character for a bit, or I could like make something now and may as well, you know, start. And so I was sat at the computer and I was just like, fuck, what's another easy to remember Wintermark soundy name? And it wasn't inspired by the guy from Game of Thrones. I just went, Bronn, that's a single syllable. So I put that in, came back, and then like, I don't know, like the whole like Bronn and my character being like quite wealthy in game wasn't really a thing at that point. You know, I was
No.
still selling like beef jerky for like 7 thrones. I think I'd met Achilles at this point, but I
Yeah.
hadn't really. I was getting like 2 wains a season through the stewardship of the seat. Like it was great, it was really good, but like Bronn wasn't, you know, able to reach into his pocket and just, you know, fund shit like he can now. And I think from that I went from quite a I knew I wanted to be trading focused. I roughly knew what it was to be Wintermark and the values and that sort of shit. And realized that he is very much like a Lannister kind of character, but
Yeah.
not not like still trying to be a good guy, you know, like trying to very much skirt the lines of what he thinks is necessary. He's pragmatist. Again, Steiner is a nice brief for that, being like very pragmatic, you know, not really kind of assessing things based on his own reckoning of the world, which he thinks is quite right because of how successful he is. The classic, you know, the classic like millionaire, billionaire mindset of like, well, everything's worked for me, so I guess I must know how the world works. And you know, obviously that's not true.
No.
But kind of that sort of thing. But he doesn't want, you know, he is you know, a nationalist or an empiricist. You know, he wants the empire to succeed. Um he wants the empire to succeed, but he does enjoy no small amount of rivalry between nations and
Oh yeah.
rivalry. Like, you know, he does enjoy that because, you know, the empire will succeed, but will nations help or hinder that success? You know, like and I think Bronn is sort of a manifestation of trying to get stuff done,
Yeah.
whilst I think like my next character is not going to be that at all.
No.
I'd say think about like who you are,
Mm.
especially if you're a new player. You do need to play to your strengths,
Mm.
and like don't try and be something like for me. I'm not overly good at like really emotional role play. Kind of, I find that difficult because I'm not very good at like opening those doors. So being a priest, which Bronn originally was, because I was like, oh, I'll be a priest of prosperity, and I'll become like, you know, this whole like pro prosperity, oh, all this sort of stuff, you know, like capitalism, woo.
Yeah.
But it became evident after a couple of events that I just wasn't really the right kind of guy to get into
I think at the
that.
last event we found you like hit a wall with a
Mm.
certain incident that happened outside the tent
Yeah,
where there was a big roleplay effect on you, and
yeah.
because I mean I sort of because I know from the amount of times we've spoken about it, you've said that you struggle with this sort of roleplay.
Yeah.
And so when they were doing all of this stuff, I was like, well, I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to see
Yeah,
what happens here. Because I knew what was coming from them. And
yeah,
then they did it all and stuff like that. And I was thinking, okay, this is really good. This is really good. This is really good. And then you just sort of like, you hit the wall hard. And you're just like,
yeah,
nope, now I'm going to get angry at them. And I was like, okay. I'll
yeah.
watch this now. And it took it in a really different way. But it's all, I think that's the good thing about LARP though, isn't it? It's, you,
I was frustrated at the time because I was like, I need to exhibit like feelings of high emotions, right? I need to be dynamic and extroverted.
mm,
But I didn't know at this point, but the reason I was feeling so fucking drained and low energy is because I had COVID,
yeah.
which later, you know, I told everyone, don't worry, everyone knew who was in contact with me. But
Yeah, I know, because you gave it
like,
to me.
yeah, I just I just couldn't summon the energy to be like high emotion.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, like I can be, but I'm very simple. You know, I can get amped up for fights, no problem. You
Mm,
know, when I'm in the battles, I love it. You know, it just feels amazing. You know, like just rushing around, running around. You know, like just yeah, I can really get that going quite quickly. But yeah, some parts of my emotional range are just completely stunted. Frankly, and that makes, and yeah, and so that was what I would say to new players. I'd like look at where you can go, look at what you can do in terms of emotional scale, and design a character around that, because I think most people, it takes a while to get good at like acting as characters. Like it's not natural.
No, it's a big thing where you're
Yeah.
having to play something, and it's an extension of you. So if something happens to your character, it's essentially happening to you. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really hard to disassociate those things,
mm.
because ideally you would, but like you say, it's you still
Well,
feel things. It still affects you, you know, in
yeah.
a lot of ways.
Well, we all saw what happened to me at E2 when Mac
Yeah,
died,
yeah,
and that. So I mean, it's just like I left on Saturday. I couldn't deal with it. Could not handle it
yes.
at all.
It's yeah, it surprises you, doesn't it? Sometimes I think yeah, it's really difficult just when you can't work out how to process it.
Yeah.
And also just separating, like, I don't know, I try to err away from like aggressive role play,
Mm.
because I I get too personally hurt, I think, like by arguments and things like that. Like I'm fairly non-confrontational,
No.
you know,
Yeah.
like I don't particularly enjoy it unless I know that, like, say the other
Mm.
person is like a fucking, you know, filthy barbarian that's yelling at me from across the army line. I'm like, you know, I know what's going on here. I'm gonna cut you into tiny little pieces. But
Yeah.
like beyond that, like I find it hard. I do.
Yeah. I was at E4 in that battle. I was stood next to a brand new player in Navarre,
Mhm.
and he was stood there as I was screaming at the Jotun,
Yeah.
and he was just looking at me going, oh, because I wish I could insult them. Like I said, it's just try, just look deep inside, find that hate, and give it to them.
Yeah.
And he was just
Yeah.
like looking at them, and he said, "It's like you're a bastard," and he just walked away. It's like what he
Yeah.
said, what,
Yeah.
and that was it. But yeah, he literally just couldn't handle it, just walked off, didn't like it. But he then I found him up, and he just said, "I struggled so hard to shout at
Yeah.
someone." He goes, "Because that's just not who I am." And he goes,
Yeah.
"So it's like I'm fighting with someone. I'm the silent fighter at the back."
Yeah.
It's like, fair enough. It's like no, but I find that part of it quite fun though. But um, I'm okay with being the really aggressive, and then if it looks like it's upset someone or they're taking it that well, stopping immediately and
Mm.
just doing that, because that's what you do. So I will say this to any new players watching: if something's making you uncomfortable, just tell them to stop, because at Empire especially, they just will. I mean, any role player that's worth their weight will just stop to check in if you're struggling with it, because we're all human at the end of the day. Um, okay, Bolam, if you've got to shoot because you're not well, mate, that's fine. But yeah, we'll get 2 winners for the tickets sorted, and then we'll let you know who's won what. So Bolam will sort all that out. So he's off to bed by the sounds of things.
Right.
So you got Tom, husband face Tom. He's plot lead for Northern Kingdoms, and there's Bindaroon as well. So there's a very new LARPer. Having a few Waynes a season is currently a wild concept. Fun that you decided to make something of your backup character and kind of hanging out till next event.
Yeah. I think that's just my approach to Empire, really. I squeeze every drop of from it if I can, just because they're not long, and the Empire events are not long enough. For one, they are not long enough.
No, no.
It's really, really difficult to get enough done. I mean, it's exhausting, and I like to do all the fights as well. So I go on fight on a Sunday. There's pretty much no time to do anything else.
No.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's
I found that a lot of people have their backup character, and it's become a really long term character. So how long have you been playing Bron for now? It's a few years, isn't it?
fucking ages.
Yeah.
I think I had Ulf for like a year and a half,
Mm.
maybe less, and all the rest of LARP, which I think is like 6 or 7 years now, has been bronze. So yeah, at least 4 years. I think like if we take out the break,
Mm.
like I think he's coming up to 4 years, like say 4 full years of play.
Nice.
Um,
So yeah, because
but it's pretty fun. Yeah.
I mean,
The sec
it's always the
the
backup
backup characters.
characters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. My next character I've thought about a lot, and I've got like costume ideas and shit like that for them. I
Mm.
don't quite know where they'll go. Honestly, I'm leaning towards Dawn because I feel like I can play a Dawnish person pretty well. I could just be a posh snob. Um, uh, I'm, I'm thinking of playing, oh, fuck, a lineage a Draugr,
Mm.
and trying a lineage for the first time. I want to be a battle mage. I want to do lots of fighting. I don't particularly want to get involved in the military game, and I think going to Dawn and becoming a noble would be a good encouragement to stay away from the money game, just because I
Yeah.
know I'll fall back into it if I'm not careful.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's too
I just
easy.
want enough money to do fights and maybe get into the magical plot a bit, because that's something that again that I've kind of said about Bron is like he uses magic like rituals. I get rituals done every season. It's super powerful. I use magic wherever I can, but Bron is
Mm.
like completely ignorant to how it works. Like he's a mundane character. Like he can't be everything. Like he can't be a fighter man, money man, magic man. It needs to be. I like to create limits for them. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, the magic world would be the next place to go for me. I think the whole of world, which everyone talks so highly about.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
It's yeah. I find new characters. It's worth stepping away. I think for me, the way I lost Mac, that wasn't an end to a character. So that's why Cal has sort of gone same mold,
Mm.
really, until I get the proper a decent end to a character, really.
Are you
Um,
gonna? What are you gonna? Are you gonna do a different character, or what are you gonna do? What do you mean?
not too sure. Not too sure. New character will be probably be either League or Varushka.
Okay.
I'll keep the 2 feet connections because friends are 2 feet, and it gives me an excuse to still go and see them, hang out with them, and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, I hate the Magic game. I've never liked Magic,
Right.
and I don't even do it in computer games.
See, I
So
love it.
I'm I'm
I always
I'm
play mages and wizards and things like that.
I'm playing Divinity. I was playing Divinity 2
Yeah, it's
for a
really good.
bit,
It's a great
and
game.
I'm a dwarf, essentially a dwarf, like barbarian, pretty much,
Mm.
and I'm just going in with a couple of axes, twatting things. That's it. That's been my focus. Everyone else does all their stuff, and I don't care. But yeah, I've never really liked Magic in any sort of settings, in any way, shape, or
Mm.
form, to be honest. So I like to
Why is
play.
that?
And it's never appealed. It's like you see all these people doing magic and stuff like that. They're all game breakers in my eyes, and I've just sort of like I'll step away from it and think I won't do it. Other people do it. That's great. They love it, and that's fine. But
Mm.
I won't do it myself.
What do you think? It's less real.
Yeah, it's why I do a lot of fighting, because that's the area that I'm involved in. That's what I do. I
I
mean,
think combat magic in Empire is pretty fun. Like, like as long as you're getting stuck in. I know sometimes it's hard for people to get stuck in, but like
yeah.
as a person, as like a guy that's tall enough to like reach over lines and stuff like that, like I already do with my pole arm. Like I think that getting a battle mage staff, I could do quite a lot. I think I find that pretty fun. I don't know if I'll get into rituals. I might do if I
Mm,
find a group that I could do fun rituals with. I mainly like the results of rituals. I'm not gonna lie, not like I like the fact that my fleet is like level fucking 12 when I buff it enough. Like it's amazing. And then I get my big fat envelope. Very exciting. Like waking up in the morning and finding a stocking full of stuff. On Christmas Day. Um, and then you realize it's another thing of Lynx Africa.
yeah.
The body gel hurts my skin.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. A little tangent for that one. Do you know the mint, the original source mint shower gel?
Yeah. Don't put
Yeah.
it on your dick.
Well, don't use it on your balls, that's for sure, because that thing hurts. That stuff kills.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah,
upgrade to that experience is deep heat. If you ever accidentally get deep heat on your balls, that one is grim.
no, it's when you make chili and then you sneeze and you rub your face.
Mm,
That hurts too. That's not fun.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Helen's just asked, have you ever wanted to retire him and try something else? Would you? Would
Not
you?
yet.
No, you're not in a
Not
place
yet.
now going. Look, all of this stuff's going on around me. Fuck this. I'm going to turn up to the next event, set all this tent up, and when everyone's going, well, where's Bron? And then we just get this little yo folk wandering over from dawn, going, ah,
I mean,
hi, you're
that would
right.
that would be an amazing way to do it. Not gonna lie, or like turn up as like a fucking marcher or something with like his hat on and stuff. That would be
Yeah,
amazing. No,
my name's Bryn.
I
I like plants.
I would say Bron is in a good chunk into his third of four acts, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think that he's definitely, I definitely think that I think it's unlikely Bron will be killed, and I might have jinxed it by saying that, simply because of the number of mercenaries and items and potions that we take into fights now. I mean, for Bron to die, most of the mercenaries and most of the horde would probably die too. So it would be quite a seismic thing. Because like it would have to be something that would kill like 40 people in a go, which has happened, like War Rhino, and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
like also kind of like fucky things like they all got done by a miasma. That could happen too. But no,
Yeah, a
I
ref
think
call.
that we're kind of reaching. I'm getting to the point now where like I'm getting into the upper echelons of the money game and where the money game can take you. And I think that
Mm,
once we get a few more great works under our belt, once we get um like a lot of the contact, like I know a lot of the people. I'm getting to know a lot of the people who have been playing the money game since the start of the game. So like I feel like I'm getting to the point where there's not. There used to be a time when I'd walk into the bourse and just see all these people trading all of these crazy figures, and I'd just be like, "This is nuts," like,
mm,
blimey, what are they doing to make that much money or whatever, and all that sort of shit. And I'm
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm the richest, but well, I'm not saying myself or Hurst Hall is the richest players in the game. I think there are probably at least three other groups I can think of that probably have a bit more money than us.
Mm,
But we're not far off.
no.
So like, I think it's the final act of Bron will be something like what's the coolest thing we can do with our money and influence, like what's something big we can do, what's like a real like life's work, if you know what I mean, like a real big thing that I can then go like, that was cool. I've done the things that money brings within the game of Empire. That's ultimately it, right? It's like
Mm,
getting the levers to pull open the bits of the game that you want to explore.
yeah.
And I think I will get to a point where it's like, I've done enough stuff with money. Now I basically need like 5 thrones an event, and I can still be gregarious and buy people drinks and have a drink myself, and that's all I'd want.
Mm,
And also, things like buying magical items is always useful. Buying potions is always useful.
yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's it. It's been great. Loved it. Being bronze been great fun, and like all the stuff that we've done and all of the things yet to come. I
Mm,
love having, as Biscuit described it. I was like, Biscuit, what do you want to like do in the game? What ambitions you got? And he's like, well, being rich seems pretty fucking fun. And I was just like, yeah, it is quite fun to be fair. But like, there's only so many like bottles of mead you can buy, before you're like,
yeah.
let's find some game, like and I guess that's what great works are about.
I mean, I think the money part of it is when you're going around and you're buying stuff like that. Because I've noticed that as like with Hurst Hall, it's all sort of slowed down a lot. We aren't going out to people going, oh, we'll buy all of this, we'll have everything of that. It was like, oh yeah, we'll have a few of those just to put on the table and stuff like that. It's just buying little bits to help people
It's
out
well
and stuff.
partly because we'd finish an event and we'd have way too many fucking bottles of booze left, because like Gallon's going and buying it. Me and Gallon barely drink, and like, you know, when I do, it's because I've finally got a minute to do so. Like I would happily drink more, but I feel like I just don't have time because I'm like wandering around all the time. But like, yeah, that's why I think that's come down a bit. I think also we're just sort of like, we're trying to think of things that are like worth doing. You know what I mean? Like it's great fun to do your trading when you're a newer player to the trading game, like just doing your regular materials and stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool. But now we're like what's a really big thing we can do? What's a meaningful thing we can do? Like let's get an army. You know, let's like try and fund an army for somewhere and like make a huge bit of Wintermark, like new Wintermark or whatever. Like
Yeah.
we've been doing some great stuff with fleets. That has been so fun. The personal resource of fleets. There's a player in Wintermark that goes by the name of Casper. He's been organizing all the fleets to do all this really
Yeah.
cool stuff, and I've been loving that. That's been so fun. And we're doing this mapping the Sea of Snow now, which is hopefully going to yield a load of information about potential new ports to trade in, new lands to explore, and like funding something like that, like an expedition or something, would be really cool, right? That kind of, we could be like Scott, you know, something like that. You know, we could all joke about dying in a tiny little hut somewhere, eating blubber.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's face it, the Agensons are going to get eaten eventually.
Yeah, someone's gonna eat somebody.
Someone really is.
Somebody's gonna
Yeah,
eat some,
it's
and it's
like,
gonna be adamant or whatever it is.
yeah, you've got
Or
Agrement, Agrement.
agrement. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got all the the artifact stuff as well that's going around,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know Helen,
Which we didn't manage to get off of the field the other day. Not angry about that. You know that there was that thing going around, and like, you remember that? Like in the last battle, there was the opportunity to get an artifact spear or something off of
off of the
somebody or
general,
another.
off of the general,
Yeah.
yeah, and the general ran off the field with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard that.
yeah,
Like
I know
they were
that
around for a bit.
because I was 10 feet behind the general with
Right.
my little coterie,
Yeah.
and we were about 10 feet behind them, and then the ref stopped us.
Right.
They were stopping players because we were right at the edge of the field, and we
Yeah.
weren't
Yeah.
meant to leave the field. So, because otherwise we would have caught him. So I'm not as fast as I used to be. So I mean, get me running, I say running, get me rolling downhill. I'll be fine. It's but yeah, I did hear about. But there have been a few incidents like that. It's like I remember doing a skirmish with Trot where we got bollocked by the senators, the generals, fucking everybody, because we broke the Wintermark Jotun peace treaty.
Oh, you were on that raid? What, the one with the stone?
No, not that.
Not the stone thing.
This was before that. This was before Mac joined Wintermark.
Oh, okay.
So I went on. It was a Navarre skirmish and against the Jotun to get a spear, and Trot came on it, and basically had a chat with the Jotun and said, "So I'm Wintermark. We've got a treaty. I won't attack you. You don't attack me." They're like, "Yeah, that's fine." The Valorn turned up. They were there, so I went off to have a little scrap with the Valorn. The Jotun then attacked the Navarre and also attacked Trot. So Trot then responded in kind. We helped wipe them out. But because we didn't do it the way that was planned, and we did it a different way, they refused to give us the spear. So we couldn't take the artifact off. We couldn't have it. We weren't allowed it.
That's a sad time.
It wasn't great. But it was a good fight, though. It was a good fight. I got told off by a ref for trying to take a Valorn through the gate.
What did I bring it back to be like, hey, look at this?
Yeah, so...
or just to infect?
Well, I didn't care. So, as Mac at the time, I'd gone off and these Valorn responded to noise. So, I was clicking at them. I was doing, essentially, what's his face from Jurassic World? So, stuff like that. And I had this one, and it was following me, going back towards the gate, and I was trying to usher it through, and the ref was just like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like it's not going to work. It's like, yeah, I know that. Mac's a moron. He doesn't know that. And the ref just went up to the Valor, just said, "Just attack him." It's like, okay. So, but yeah, there's a lot. I like those sorts of I need to do more skirmishes, I think.
Yeah, it's risky, but that's something I think I'll do with my new character as well. Is like just go fighting a lot,
Yeah,
not have to worry about everything else.
No.
Especially as a mage, because you don't have to put on armor. Just fucking
Yeah,
wander out, you big stick.
pretty much. I'm tempted to start fight. I think new character, I'm going to have a spear.
Yeah, spears are great.
So,
Oldest weapon in the book
mm,
for a good reason.
yeah, I might literally
Uh,
see if I can get someone to make me a just a big pointy stick, so it looks like just a big pointy stick. That'd be great.
That'd be great. Stab safe stick.
A stab safe stick. I'd be well up for
Stab.
that.
It's hard to say with Invisalign in. Stab safe stick. Yeah,
You've had
yeah.
worse in your mouth.
Awful.
I don't know. So, Plants has asked, have you got any tips for breaking into more emotional roleplay?
And if you do, tell me. Because no.
It's a tough one. It's all about your character and how you react at the time. And I mean, if you get angry, you get angry. If you get sad, you get sad. You generally find the moment takes you anyway.
Yeah.
So you get a bit carried away with it all, and that. And I've seen
Yeah.
people in really sad situations, literally they can't deal with it. They will just turn around and go, "I can't handle this right now," and just storm off. That creates that scene, and it's just about the reaction. So, but it's a tough one. That
It is. I'd say don't overact.
No.
I personally, sometimes I'm a bit like, sometimes I see people doing genuinely very good sad roleplay. You know, like as in like you're like, oh man, that looks real. And other times people just kind of compensate with it just by being really loud and really dramatic, and that's fine. You can do it if you want. I wouldn't do it.
No.
But then again, I'm pretty uptight, so it's up to you. I sometimes, you know, I've been made sad by things, definitely there, you know, like it does affect you. It is like, especially when you realize like somebody hasn't come back from a fight and you're like, oh shit, you know, like that sort of like, hope they're back at the tent. And then you're like, but you see him 2 hours later and you're like, you know, like that's not fun.
No.
But I mean, that's part of it, and that's part of the connections you build with people. Grief is the price of joy.
Yeah, funerals are quite fun though.
Depends on the funeral. I thought yours was good. I thought that the way the
The
wayward
whispers.
yeah, I like that, and I've seen a couple of other people do good whispers as well. Yeah, no, funerals can be good. There was one with Galen where he was Achilles and he died. And he was laying in state. Did you see him?
Yeah.
He was laying in state, and it was really weird. Like, as in, like, it was quite like, holy shit, it's a dead body, you know? And then I sort of was
So
looking over
funny.
him, and I was just like saying, like, "You silly bastard," or something like that. I can't remember. I think I said that, you know, like, because he went into a fight and got killed almost immediately. And there was, you know, and I was just like, and he was lying there, and he just sort of opened his eyes and went, all right. That's just like, quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a fun one. I did enjoy his funeral. I mean, all my role play from that came from walking to his body and leaving his body, because I got escorted to his body by some of the militia and away from his funeral by some of the militia, because everyone in Urizen wanted to kill me because they all thought I had killed him.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I see.
So even though, yeah, just
What? All 4 people in Urizen were trying to kill you?
yeah, all 4 of them. So it was a bit disappointing, but it added to the effect. It's like having someone walk past and pretend to spit on you was
pretty
interesting, and then
I
from
don't know
Urizen
how
as well.
though.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I feel like if somebody did that to Bron, I'd be like, "Excuse me."
Well, they did it to Mac.
I know, doesn't that just make him violent?
Yeah, I went back, put my armor on, and I marched into the prison. I had to get dragged out by the militia. I was looking for her. I did find her. She hid in her tent. She came up to like my chest. She was tiny, and I was going to kill a character for her. It was just like, yeah, that was good fun. I did enjoy that, but that's that sort of role play. It's all. I mean, Chris has asked a top tip for a new LARPer when it comes to role play. it's down to you as an individual again,
Yeah,
because
do what comes natural.
it's
Talk about. I find just like learning a bit about something that's going on and then talking about that knowledge, like with knowledge, is a good way to do it, right? Because if somebody comes up to you and they're speaking like this normally, but they're like, "Oh, did you hear about, yeah, Brega's land has been invaded by so and so," and it's, like that's already in character to me because you're talking about something as if it's real, as if you care about it, like as if like you're invested in it. That's
yeah,
enough.
yeah,
You don't need to be like, "Ooh, have you heard about the word in Vegasland?" Oh, you don't need to be like exuberant. I don't think that's necessary. For
no,
me, that's not necessary.
no,
I almost think that, like real people would exist within this world. Like,
yeah,
and not every person, well, most people, in fact, maybe this is more of a stereotype in the UK, but like most people are fairly reserved and like fairly realistic. They'll talk to you just like a normal person. They're not
yeah,
going to be like overly cryptic or
no,
whatever. And then, but I think that's where the role playing effects come from, right? When
yeah.
that gets enhanced.
Oh
I
yeah,
suppose.
definitely. It's one of the best responses I saw to any of the winds of whatever that happened was in the Navarre, and it was after one of the Navarre armies was marched into the foreign territory, and someone literally was going around going, "Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this?" And someone, as he went running up to this guy, just said, "Did you hear about this?" The guy just cleaved his legs out and just started hitting him on the floor, and it's like, everybody has heard about this. And just left him there bleeding out and walked away. It's just like, someone will pick him up later. And that was the response. It's just like, you okay? I like that. It's just like, yeah. Hung around for a little bit, made sure someone picked him up, but it was...
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Not enough violent stuff actually happens in town for
Yeah.
it to
It's
for
like,
people to actually react that quickly
oh
sometimes.
my god, like Murder fucking Alley. I am sick of
Yeah.
that. It's like, murder. Oh, don't go up Murder Alley. It's like, why? One person's been murdered there. The other person who got murdered was murdered somewhere else and dumped there.
Oh, I see.
That's it. It's like,
Yeah.
call it
One of
Assault Alley. That's what happens there. It doesn't have the
yeah.
same ring to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
GBH
somebody in the
Road.
militia. I knew somebody in the militia was saying that they were literally sending like bait players up there to see if anyone was actually getting
Yeah.
ambushed. I think also with like the dog end or whatever it's called up there now,
Yeah, the
like
dog ends.
it's a lot more busy. Um,
Yeah.
I think half of like quite a few Wintermark tents are in that part of the woods as well. So like you're safe.
Yeah.
Wintermarkers don't kill for fun. Navarre people do. It's a Navarre problem. Wintermarkers don't do shit for anybody.
And, yeah. And marchers as well. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so
They're ideologically motivated.
yeah, used to have a running joke. We got some friends in the marches, and they're all quite big guys. And the running joke for the 2 feet was, we know 3 stout marchers and a sack when we were threatening to kill someone. So they actually bought a massive Hessian sack as well. It
That's where
was
you go.
it
Throw
was
potatoes out of you.
it was exactly. Husband Faces said, on playing characters, David Bowie used to say that being Ziggy Stardust was like wearing armor. Anything someone else didn't like about his performance was on Ziggy and not him, and that gave him freedom to try whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I mean you can do that if you want. I think some
I
people
quite
do
like
that.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think a lot of people do that. I think maybe I'll do that as my next character, but I think that's not what I do right now.
No, I mean,
I
I definitely used to do it as Mac.
mm,
Definitely. That's not Steve, that's Mac doing it.
yeah.
It's, yeah, Steve tries to be a nice person. Mac's prick.
Mm.
So, yeah, you do get that from it all.
I think with the only thing I do with Bron is I overly simplify things, which is just makes life easier. Let's be honest.
Well, you need
Just
to.
sort of like, just pragmatism. Like it's again, I use pragmatism as the justification, but like
Yeah.
I try not to think too deeply because I just don't think he's that kind of guy. Yeah, I don't know.
It's.
I think there's an interesting. I definitely do the whole like brain out of head thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, like like that element of it for sure, where you're like, yeah, you forget about your day-to-day worries sort of thing. But I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that I use it to like have express things that I wouldn't normally express, which I think I would like to
Mm.
do eventually.
Yeah,
Um,
it's. I mean, someone who's impressed me the most as a role player. That's going to sound really naff. Is Humes.
yeah, yeah, I thought it would be him. Yeah,
Because I
I mean, yeah,
mean,
for sure.
let's face it, Sigvald was a prick, and no one likes Sigvald. I
I
hated.
like Sigvald.
I fucking hated him. But then again, though, yeah, Mac and Grim, we hated him. We
Yeah,
absolutely hated Sigvald,
we tormented him.
which is why we tormented him all the time. We couldn't
Hmm.
stand him. We thought absolute prick. But it was sort of like I think it put a little bit of like the OC IC bleed there between me and Mark a fair bit. Because then, obviously, with everything that happened with Mac, me and Mark have we chatted a lot more. Our characters have sat next to each other and had a conversation without the need for drugs, stupid role play, or anything like that. And it was a really nice change. It was
Yeah,
really good. And yeah, the difference between the two characters has been fantastic to see as well.
yeah, it's crazy. Like the effort it takes to do full
Yeah.
like
So,
fem stuff and
oh god,
like
yeah,
yeah, no, it's really cool. I think it's really interesting. I try to interact with them as much as possible. And yeah, it's fun. I think like hearing his stories on the way home as well is interesting. Um,
yeah,
about how like it changes the experience quite a lot. I think, which is interesting in
definitely.
itself.
Yeah,
Um,
I really like it, and I'd love to hear more of what he gets up to and stuff like that. But
mm,
it's like after the event, you just don't get the chance to talk to him because, well, everyone's rushing so much to get everything packed up and away
mhm.
and everything. So
Yeah, which is
it's
fun.
yeah, and I'm doing
Took
my
ages to get off site last time. Fucking
yeah
traffic jam at one
yeah.
point. Was just sat still for 30 minutes.
I mean, Helen will know from our point of view, but I think we spent an hour and a half trying to get off site. It took an absolute age,
I don't
but
know why. The road's pretty good off of site as well.
yeah, it was. I don't know what was causing it. Don't know what was causing it, but it was great fun. It's yeah. I need to. My problem is that I always want to go and see everybody, not after the game, but after the game as well. I get in so much trouble for getting distracted too quickly. Um, But yeah, I want to see more people in game and role play with them and interact with them and stuff. So
Not
like
enough time. Events need to
exactly,
be longer.
there's a guy in Brass Coast, Pete,
Yeah,
GM Nightmare. He's got a fantastic camp set up, and that I didn't see him at all last event, and I felt
yeah,
really guilty. He's
yeah.
absolutely he is a proper dwarf. He is a proper dwarf. He's got his
Mm.
beard down to his feet and everything. It's and his camp setup and his hospitality is perfect. It's absolutely amazing. I need to get over there more. I encourage everybody to go and find him in the field, to be honest, because it's
What nation are they in?
Brass Coast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll have to drag you over there because it's a good escape as well from Wintermark
Yeah.
as well. It's far.
Dark old Wintermark. I
Yeah.
see bars in answer to a question in the chat.
Ooh.
They're getting really good. There's always been some good ones. There's been some less good ones, but recently they've just been getting better and better. There's one in Navarre. I think it's something Goose or something like that, like the one that does all the cocktails.
A drunken
Uh,
goose.
yeah, God, that one's great, and the drinks there are really, really good. There's loads of great. I mean, it's one of the best things about it, really. Let's be honest, is you can wander around all weekend with your fake money and buy booze. Obviously, if you're 18 or above. But like, it's uh the quality of a lot of the drinks now is so good. Like,
Mm.
you still get some like pretty awful stuff. Like the Dog End beer is fucking abysmal.
Awful. Awful.
Real bad. But like some places do really, really good stuff. And so yeah, I mean, people role play there. Yeah, it's just like another place. To be honest, a lot of role play happens there because it's like a meeting place after hours, isn't it? Like when you're done doing your main bit of plot for the day or whatever, and you go on a little crawl or something in the evening, it's where you often have some of your most funny and interesting interactions. To be honest with you,
Mm.
yeah, they're great. They're great. There's
Yeah.
loads of them. There's probably about at least 10 I can think of.
There's about 3 or 4 in every nation.
Yeah,
There's
and
so
like
many bars.
some people set up really big. like tents for them and everything like that.
I mean, look at Wise Guys. That's probably the perfect example. Wise Guys has done a
Mm.
phenomenal job in Dawn, I think.
Yeah,
Drunk,
and and the secret is Tom spends loads of money on it. He'll go out and buy actual local ales from like a local brewery, and they'll be really nice,
yeah,
and stuff like that. Like, yeah, Wise for me, Wise Guys and Drunken Goose at the moment are probably my two go-tos in terms of bars.
yeah, they are
Uh,
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah, I like. I mean, there's. I mean, I like going to the marches as well. Their bars are great as
yep.
well. It's really nice
I don't go there
because
enough.
the nations, the bars in all the nations, they have a very different aesthetic as well in all of them.
Mhm.
So like, go to Wise Guys, and you've got, it's a nice feel to it. You get music playing and all of that sort of stuff. And then you go off to like a bar in the marches, and it just reminds me of the old Spit and Sawdust pubs.
Yeah, I went to one of those like fucking years ago at Empire, and I really want to go back there. I never make it over to March most of the time, and when I do, it feels like it's like closed up for the night.
Yeah,
But I really want to go to March's one next event. Um,
yeah,
I go to
definitely.
Star. Somebody mentioned Star Bar in the
Star
chat
Bar,
as well.
yeah, Debbie
We
Harry.
go there quite a lot. Really good.
Yeah, I liked Star Bar. There was one question. Is it drunken beef? Discarded beef, not drunken beef. Discarded beef. What's your plans for Hearst Hall next year? Are you all still in the same group?
Well, you're not.
I'm not.
Steve's starting
Well,
his own hall,
well,
which I'd encourage. It's a good idea.
technically, we haven't. Well, it's all going to happen in character at E1, I
Okay.
believe. So you get to have a wonderful chat with your cousin.
Yeah. So for Hearst Hall, it depends because I'm hoping. Well, it depends where we are in the field. First of all, I don't know what's going to happen there. How we're going to lay
Oh,
ourselves out.
yeah. I'll tell you
Um.
after the stream because I have heard something now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Hearst Hall will be a couple of things. We're integrating a war band into our surroundings. So we're going to try and be nearer to the guys that are in the Stormborn Spears, so we can have a little bit more of a martial focus,
Mm,
in some respects, because we want to. That's been fun doing that new war band and fighting with people, and I've enjoyed that. Um, Beyond that, we've got floor seats. I can't remember. We've had a chat about this.
mm.
It's been a long day. I'm losing my memory a bit. We had a meeting about it, and I've sort of forgotten. I've got some notes somewhere, but ultimately, consolidating our wealth, working out
Yeah.
what's going to be needed for the year, because you want to roll around and there'll be something big going on, right? If the Sea of Snow mapping comes back and that's gone well, then maybe, like I say, try and fund some sort of like expedition or something
Mm,
like that. We've got Samasuak back, probably looking at fortifying that. Um, Stuff like that, really, like shoring up defenses and looking for new opportunities in E1 is usually the way to go. And with the amount of funds we've got, and more actually the amount of wains we've got, we're not very liquid at all, but we've got hundreds of wains of materials. So
mm.
we'll be using that to build something,
Yeah.
and we'll go from there. But
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I think the good thing about the new hall and Hearst Hall is the connections within. So it's not like we're going. I mean, this is something that was said, wasn't it? It's not like we're leaving the hall and going "fuck you all," we're off
mm,
and all of that. It's still very much because it's like Cal is Tillion's nephew
mm.
and that. So Yana is obviously your cousin and things. So we've still got all the connections, and I still hope that everyone still helps each other and stuff like that and
Oh,
things.
definitely.
So because
Yeah, we'll be in the neighborhood, won't we? Like I said, like
mm,
we need to. I want to see how we're going to lay out the camp plans, but we'll do it in a way that, yeah, I mean, still need all of the same
yeah.
relations as we've had in terms of, I mean, the potion game, the drugs game. Both of those things are very important and interesting. Like I
Yeah.
say, I want to get some of that Black Lotus to Mark's character to see if because they're all about herbs and shit. I know it's a little bit OC, but like they're literally about researching like plants and stuff, and I reckon
Okay.
there's probably something interesting going on. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I know the drugs game is picking up massively.
yeah, it's really
So,
interesting.
so you've got all of that sort of stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, we can. Yeah, I've got all of that stuff anyway. So I'm sure I can help out in that front
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I think I was having a chat with one of the people from the
And
Crimson
only one of
Reapers.
us needs to go things. Yeah,
Only one, yeah.
yeah, very, very true.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because I had a chat with one of the people from the Crimson Reapers, and they were talking about the Lotus and saying how rare it was, and
yeah.
it's
That's
like,
why when
oh,
you first got it, I was like, well, "You've got that? That's like, I thought that was really hard to find."
yeah, really hard to find. It's like I've got 5 of them.
I think it's you've got like an infusion, right? You haven't got like the flower itself. Is that right? It's like
yeah,
a
it's a potion. It's a drug,
right.
basically. Oh no,
Okay.
it's the flower. The Black Lotus is the flower itself. It's
Okay. I mean, if it is what it could be, then it's probably not something we should discuss on stream
no,
anyway, just because it could
no,
be a
no.
major plot thing. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's
There's a
certainly
lot more
interesting.
coming from it. So, but yeah, there's loads there, and that. So it's so I've enjoyed this. It's a tear open card. You gave me one. Yeah, I know. I've given so many away. I probably shouldn't have done. Uh,
Really? Oh boy.
yeah, lots of interest about
Okay.
Black Lotus. I've got
Yeah.
like 200 of them.
Yeah. They think
Um,
it could might even be able to kill dragons,
mm,
like things like that. Or it
oh
could be a drug for Imperial Orcs to have visions. It could be anything. It could be very important. So
oh yeah, there is yeah.
don't give
Yeah,
them
and
away.
I know what each of
Not for
these
free.
do. No, no. So
Uh,
drugs are stupidly expensive now, so it's
mm,
wonderful. Um, Ryan's spoken to the Thule, excellent.
mm.
Um, it's nice to see Empire is still so engaging after playing for years. It's a bizarre
Yeah.
one. It really is. It's my second stag do um, down in Southampton. We all went to the Hobbit. We were sat there just chatting shit with everyone, and then because everyone there is an Empire player as well, it took
Mm.
an hour or so, and then it just devolved into everyone frothing
Just
about
talking
Empire,
Empire.
Empire
Yeah,
for
yeah,
hours.
yeah.
It's great. I mean,
Mm.
I really enjoy it. I mean, if I didn't, then none of this would be happening. So, um,
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
but
it sort of happened with your one in Bristol as well, didn't it? Like, where like towards the end, we were just talking about stuff and like, at,
what's it? Mother's Ruin.
yeah, yeah. Actually, the reason I ended up going to like Flying Lead was that, which I'm very happy about.
Mm,
But like everyone was sort of saying like, oh yeah, there's this thing coming up, and I was like, "Oh, that's not really cool."
yeah,
Um,
we'll have to find out about Northern Kingdoms and see if we can get
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everyone going to that or something. Because I'd be well up for
Mm.
getting people together, make a little
Yeah,
group
yeah,
and
yeah.
go up for
Let's
that.
just hope they've got the bloody space, because again, it's just super popular,
Yeah,
and they can only have so many people, unfortunately.
yeah.
But
Is
let's hope
that's
they...
not done at Eversley either? Is that done at Eversley?
I'm not sure. I
I
think
don't
it.
think
I
it
mean,
is.
it's ILARP. I don't know whether they use that site. I think they might. But I wouldn't be able to say for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for Dawn and Husband Face to let us know. But yeah, we'll have to get something done because that could be join the Facebook group. I'm not on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I don't do Facebook anymore. Someone else will have to join it and fill me in when it is and stuff. But yeah, that'll be really cool. So, um, I know you've had a long day, a very long
Mm.
day. So I'll let you. Well, we'll call the stream here because I think you could probably do with
Yeah.
a sit down and a. Oh, it's not an ILARP.
Oh, it's not
It's
ILARP. Oh
not an
no, it's
ILARP.
not. No, it's not. Yeah, yeah. It is somewhere else then.
So, but yeah, we'll have a look at doing something like that. That is the one thing about Empire. I love the community, but Facebook is crazy. Well, I've got my Discord, and that which
Yeah.
has been going it just goes non-stop. Turn off the notifications for the Discord because I do, because it's insane. But yeah, a lot of frothing happening there about Empire there. Plants. They've used the site once, but they rotate sites throughout the UK. So
Ah, I see.
yeah, so yeah, I need to do like that. Still on Facebook, can confirm it's still grim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks, man. I mean, I think that's one thing I would change. Well, not one thing. I've got a few things I'd change about Empire, but by and large, it's just a shame that there's not another place that we can use, because it does just feel so fucking stupid. Like if I didn't organize shit for Empire through Facebook, I would have got rid of my account by now. But yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's not the
Well,
case.
yeah. But yeah, I've got some stuff about that as well. Kitchen
Mm.
Inspector asks, how many socks do you suggest to bring for an event?
4 pairs, I'd say, is reasonable. It depends on when you're getting there and what the weather conditions are like. I've
Yeah.
got waterproof socks. I've got wool socks. I'm a big fan of socks myself, to be honest with you. And but I would say wool socks
Yeah.
are the go-to. Bridgedale's, big fan.
I wear two.
That's.
I wear two pairs of socks at once.
Oh, look at you. Why don't you just get some slightly thicker socks?
Nah, I'm a bit creepy like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, waterproof, then thick, and it's just
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
works
If
very
you
well.
if you put the waterproof on the outside, maybe. The thing about the waterproof is they make your feet sweat like crazy because they're not
Mm,
breathable really.
yeah.
But they are good for all those
My boots
really.
are shit, so I need I need the thick socks on the outside because it soaks everything out for
Yeah,
me.
I mean, even good waterproof boots will eventually get soaked through. So,
Yeah,
like, those neoprene socks are useful, but they're bloody expensive,
no,
like
not too.
30 quid a pair.
I've just realised something that we haven't done either. We haven't done these tickets.
Okay,
Uh,
how are you gonna do it?
so if you can get to the Reaper's Ball, which is in, I think it's the 6th of January. Um, it's down in north of
It's
the
in
Reap.
Wincanton, isn't it?
Yeah, Wincanton.
And it's the 7th of January.
7th of January. Cheers.
Yep.
So if you could, yeah, Wincanton. So if you are able to get there, Ryan can't wait to mince about. So if you're able to get to it, this isn't just for new players either. This is for anybody who wants to go along, try LARP out and stuff like that as well. Yeah, just say that you want a ticket basically, or do the sock emote. There we go. Do the sock emote, and then I'll have one of my mods pick a winner for me. Might have to do it in the Discord, to be honest. I think I've left it really late, like I normally do. Anytime I've done a giveaway, I think the
Yeah.
last time I did one was actually I was chatting to Trot, and we just chatted for so long, and then we remembered the catch you later, Andy. Yes, I'll see you on Thursday. Yeah, and we were just chatting for so long, and then he suddenly remembered. Like he goes, look, we've got to finish in 10 minutes, and we haven't even started any of the giveaways yet. So yeah, so we ended up having
Yeah,
to
do it in Discord.
do it in
Yeah,
Discord.
you want to give everyone a fair shake of it, don't you? I suppose, rather
Yeah,
than those that were able to. I mean, fair play to those who've been able to hang on, but
yeah. So yeah, we'll do it in the
yeah.
Discord, and then
I gotta go and cook myself some dinner now as well, but it's just pasta, so it shouldn't take too long.
I had a weird dinner that I
Mm.
love, but everyone else looks at me and thinks you're just a fucking weirdo.
What is it?
Pasta, tuna, and beans.
Yeah, it's really nice. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's a nice
love
meal.
it.
Mm,
I
yeah.
absolutely
So I'm
love
gonna
it.
say like pasta and ketchup, and I'm like, that's gross.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Yeah, pasta, tuna, and beans. It's like trail food.
Yeah, it's great,
Give
but
you a lot of get those out Rat Packs. It's pretty good though. It's always nice. Like,
yeah, it's Will's giving. I've got a Rat Pack over there,
mm.
and Will suggested that we get some people sit around a fire and just eat it and see how disgusting the new Rat Packs are. My experience
I
of
got
them,
some that
not
were
great.
packaged recently. It depends on which one it is, really. Like you got to pick them really.
There was
The
a
Orifo stuff is alright, but
there was a chocolate brownie one that they used to do, and they were
oh,
wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I used to eat them a lot, but they clog you up. That's the problem.
there's a cinnamon cake one I had recently, which I really enjoyed. Especially like if you put it in
Oh.
coffee or something. It was fucking great.
Pasta,
Uh,
pesto, tuna, pasta,
Right,
tuna,
I'm
and mayo.
gonna go eat my actual dinner now. So
Right, yeah. So I'll
send
close
me
if you stay on for 2 secs. I'll close the stream and then
Okay.
I'll tell you what I've heard and then I'll let
Okay.
you go and take a couple of seconds. Anyway,
Cool.
thank you everyone for watching. I'm not going to raid anyone because I want to shoot off and carry on playing Ragnarok.
Oh, nice.
So, was that pasta? Oh, grated cheese
Grated
and
cheese with
ketchup.
ketchup.
Oh.
Great is a strong descriptor for that.
Oh,
Miserable is probably the one I would use.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, you all look after yourself. Smith, thank you so much for coming on, mate. I
No
really
worries.
appreciate it.
That's for
And
fun.
yeah, we'll yeah, you can tell it's my first one back for a while because there was no structure here whatsoever.
That's right. We got some good questions and stuff. Fun to talk about.
It was good.
Thanks, Fulks.
Thanks, Fulks. Okay, cheers, Beth. Thank you for that. Anyway, you all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all soon. And I'll put a channel in the Discord for the competition. Focus, thank you, hun. Yes, and I'll see you all later. Bye, bye.